Hi! Oh my gosh. I was looking for a microphone and couldn't find it. But, oh my gosh. I just woke up not too long ago. And was playing around on my laptop. And then I found out that I can go live now from YouTube. From my laptop. Now, if I start on my phone, it says come back in 24 hours. But here we are. So I just wanted to come in and say hi, first of all, and how much I am so proud of you. Of all of you, not just you, meaning me. Well, if you're new to my channel, you know that I come here for a conversation to myself, and you all are guest participants in this show, okay? So I'm mostly talking to whoever's watching, and sometimes it's me watching, sometimes it's you watching. So I'm talking to whoever is listening. So if you're listening right now, I am talking to you. But I just want to say how proud I am of you. Life can be difficult. It really can. But a lot of times it's more difficult than we think, and a lot of the difficulties that we have or think that we have are self-imposed. So when you learn to let go of a lot of things, not even a lot of things, but the things you find difficult in life, life gets a little better. And I'm so ready and beyond ready to, for life to start getting better. And it's not that it's bad now, but I'm just ready for better, ready for more, ready for a new chapter. So if anyone else is ready for a new chapter, please comment new chapter down below. First of all, to go live on YouTube, evidently you need 50 followers. I have 53, so thank you for the 53 of you who, I'm cricket. Am I cricket? Is the glasses cricket? No, the glasses not cricket. It's my face cricket. If I look this way, my glasses seem straight. Thank you for those of you who are following me, who chose to follow me, who I convinced to follow me, who I forced to follow me. Just thank you all, because without you, I wouldn't be able to go live. So I'm going live on here. Usually I go live on Facebook, but I'm live on here now, So I just want to say, come out and say thank you for all of you. But I was also saying that, yeah, so like life can seem difficult, but it doesn't have to be. A lot of things are self-imposed. So if you try not to impose a lot of stress onto your life, it will become less stressful. That's what I'm learning. And then sometimes it's time to let go of old habits. I know I talk about that a lot on this channel. Letting go and doing what's best for you. And sometimes what you want or what you think you want isn't necessarily what's best for you. And what was best for you might not be what's best for you now. Like sometimes drinking Coke over Pepsi was best for you, but now drinking water over Coke is what's best. Something as simple as that. Moderations help everyone feel safe. To build a positive live chat experience, you and your viewers choose who can participate. Set a delay between messages. Hi. Okay. Message. Okay. Add moderators to your channel. Okay. Well, it's just me right now. So I'm the only moderator and I'm the only for now. So I'm excited to build a larger community. Shout out to the 53 of you who are already watching or already subscribed. Because you know, there'll be something special for you all if you choose to stick around. With that being said, I would like to pull a few cards. I have the Universe Has Your Back deck right now. Do I want to do one card of each? Let's do 4 decks. And then I'm going to get out of here because I have to help my sister with some things. And I got some things I'm supposed to do today, including help her. But yeah, ooh. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. So I saw that one that flipped upright. So I'm gonna put this one first and read this one second. Okay. But yeah, so sometimes, you know what? Since this flipped upright, I'm just gonna read that and we're gonna start talking now as I still shuffle these other cards. So I'm not filling in the shuffle time. Okay. So what the universe wants you to reach for, which kind of goes into what I was just talking about, is number 12, change. Okay. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and birth in the new. And like, yeah, so like that's what I was just saying. Like, you know, sometimes we have to let go, we have to change. We can't stay the same forever. And those of you that stick to the same regimen or routine are just in stagnant energy. And there's, you know, as long as you're not hurting yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. But when your body, mind, and soul is telling you it's time for a change, you know, it just gets repetitive. And then you get these constant reminders that it's time for change. And it just gets annoying. Like, not annoying in a bad way, but it's like, if you know you're doing the same stuff, and then everything is a reminder of you doing the same stuff, you know, you're just not getting the same fulfillment that you used to. Or sometimes it's not even the same fulfillment that you used to, but it's like you are, the gratification isn't the same. It's the same, like fulfillment, I guess, but you're just not getting the same out of it. It's time for a change. I didn't look at this card when I put it up, but let's just look at this. The square and the circle, and then these little triangles in the corner, which looks like projectors. So almost remind you of like projecting. So be careful if you're projecting. Sometimes we project onto others. You know, that's another thing I just learned recently. Let me tell you. So like, I reflect, okay? I use every opportunity as a time to reflect. Hell, I'm reflecting right now. It's just something that I do. I reflect with other people. I guess I reflect on other people too. And people pick up on that. Some people pick up on that, which I did not know. Learning, okay? I'm learning. Don't judge me. But like, evidently, people don't want to hear you reflect on them. But this is the only issue I have with that, though. Like, if someone says they're here to have a conversation, they want to have a conversation, then you have a conversation with them, and then they say they don't want you to reflect or something like that on them, and it's like, well, you the one who came here and said you wanted to have a conversation. You know, so make that make sense. I don't know. Everything happens for a reason. This card plopped out, so I'm gonna take this. Well, it like jumped up and said, "Pick me." All right. So yeah. So what the universe wants you to reach for is the energy of change. Don't be afraid to change. Okay. Change happens, and you know what? Ooh, this one. Because I'm not on my phone, I'm going to read number 12. Let's read some poetry while I'm here. Okay. So 12 is acknowledgement versus appreciation. Let me address something right here. Let me send my location so you know that I'm clear. To acknowledge something is done, that can be seen or one can hear. But to appreciate takes so much soul and a lot more fear. Going above and beyond to show you're really moved, that because of what someone else has done increase your very mood. When you display appreciation, it's like you really show gratitude. And on another note, not really trying to go out of my way. Instead of appreciation, I'm going to just acknowledge what was done the other day. Just bringing it up shows that was enough and there was no other way. It's like you acknowledge complete strangers, but never show appreciation when it's bae. Now, take it how it resonates, how you want, take that how you want to resonate it. But at the same time, like your number one bae should be you. Now, I'm not telling you, who. Well, I guess I am, but I'm not telling you who bae should be. Like, I'm not in a relationship. I don't have a bae, you know, but I am my bae. Like I am. I am bae before anyone else. So when you are your bae, and I said that at 1:24 on the timer, 1:34. No, it was 12:34, 12 minutes, 34 seconds on the timer when I said that. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you are bae before anyone else, you are placing yourself before anyone else. And that is, oh my God, I hope I'm not about to tear up. That is where I'm moving into. It's time to place ourselves first. I want to be the bae in my life, like in the right ways. There's confirmation. I don't know if you heard that, but it's 3:00. For the right ways, like not just, for your pleasures. Because a lot of times, those pleasures, those addictions, that's not really you. It's what you're addicted to. So, like, if I go out for a cigarette, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I'm thinking that I'm going out for me, but I'm really going out for my addiction. Because if it was up to me, I wouldn't be smoking cigarettes, So, like, are you really going out for you? So, are those addictions aren't necessarily for you, but at the same time, everything in this world is for you. Including change. Change is for you. Okay, if I got to keep it a buck, here's some change. All right, what the universe wants you to shield or hold close. And this is from the universe has your back. But then the first card I read was from the activation sacred geometry deck. Okay. But when I can lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. Okay, so that's 2 cards now that we have that has the word change. So change is definitely a common theme in this reading. And if you put these two together, they almost look like 2 eyeballs. You know, one's a masculine eyeball, one's a feminine eyeball. One's abstract, one's kooky looking, one's more real, one's natural, one's abstract, one's colorful, one's not. So we have the twin flame, blue twin flame duality is in the room right now. Masculine, feminine energies are here. I'm feeling it. I live it. So it will always be here. So thank you. All right. While we're giving thanks, let's give thanks to E, all the above. You can feel A through D, whatever you want. Okay. But when you lean on the certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So going back to change, you know, like we can know we have to change, but it isn't until we actually start changing that it's certainty. And we don't know where we're going to go. A lot of times we aren't changing because we're afraid that you're just so used to doing what you're used to doing. And you don't want to change because you don't know what's on the other side. You know, not knowing what's on the other side stops a lot of people from doing what they want to do, what they should do. Let's just call him back. I can't take that. But sometimes, yeah, change is difficult. It's very difficult. It can be difficult, but it's only difficult because we don't know what's on the other side. And if we give up that fear, or not give it up, but leave it to faith, and then once you lean into, you know, your faith, you know you're going to be okay, then it becomes a lot less scary at the same time. And then you could turn that fear into certainty. Okay. So when I lean into certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. And then once you change your mind, you start seeing the world in a different way because you changed how you looked at it. And this is why it's so important to go for change. So for those of you that are just watching, I pulled 2 cards, one from one deck, which is change. Thumbs up if you can see it. And then the second card I pulled from a different deck reads, when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So these are 2 different cards that has the word change in it. So now what the universe wants us to wants to shed light on or illuminate, I am standing on the leading edge of thought. Okay. And that's coming from the Ask and It's Given deck. Okay. And this reads, just as all of our experiences from the time your birth into your physical body until now have accumulated into who you are, all that has ever been experienced by all that is has accumulated into all that is now being experienced in the physical life experience of planet Earth. Okay, so like when you come to a point of change, there's so much that leads up to that point, and then you change, and now things are different. Okay, so just like before reaching a point of change for you, you had to so much had to transpire in your life before you reach that point of change. Before you can change, you have to reach a mentality or a thought to change. And just like you had to reach that point to change, when you look at humanity or the earth, all of what transpired up like to change the world, everything had to, the whole human experience had to be experienced before we can accumulatively go through change. Prime example of this, like segregation. Like at one point, the world was segregated, and not just by race, but by distance. We live in a segregated time of life. We were separated by segregation versus separation. We're going to look that up. We're going to write that down. But let's do that right now. Actually, before I forget, sorry you guys, recurring theme. And that's how these recurring themes come to me, if you did not know. 740. Segregation versus separation. And that's going to be a good one. Copy. I'm not going to forget. Darn it. Okay. Oh, found it. Okay. 740. Paste. Nope. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm back. So, we were separated, by continents, by distance, once we start coming more together physically, we went through segregation where people were separated by race, but now we're in a day and age where we're no longer segregated per se, physically. But then thanks to like modern technology, we're more together. We can post a video and someone can see it across the world, in opposed to a time where before video, we can only communicate, by radio or by, but through time, we had to get to a point of where we are today. So just like you had to go through something individually in order to reach change on a global scale, the world has to go through that, and to get to that point. And that's what this card is saying. But we are standing on the leading edge of thought, but it all starts with a thought. Okay. Is there a number on this card? Number 16. So let's read number 16. All right. 16 is training versus conditioning. You can train a dog to dog a girl, run a train over a squirrel, but all these start with conditioning that really makes me hurl, throw up my hands, blow down chunks on my feet. Speaking of a stinking smell of defeat, because people have made conditioning something so bleak, when it could be something not so negative. If the things that were being conditioned were things that are positive, like being great and following your dreams, this is the conditioning that is good, so it seems. But fuck that shit. Literally strap on these positive thoughts and run a train on your brain. Hit it from the back like a bump of cocaine. Listen closer and you Listen closer and let me condition where your thoughts are heading. Lessons can be personal if you are down with this training. All right. So, and that's like what we were just talking about, like changing. Um, Conditioning and training is a type of training. I mean, a change. One is more slower, one is more initial. You know, when you're training, you know what you're training for, but when you're being conditioned, someone else is conditioning you. But it's still an act of training or change. So when we can train ourselves or condition ourselves in a positive way, things, that's where change comes, but it's better to do it from a conscious standpoint than unconscious. All right. Um, Last, what the universe wants you to stay strong on, we from the mindful messages deck. Is breathe. So before I read this, let's just, all day long we breathe unconsciously for ourselves. So let's just take a moment to breathe for someone else. Whether they're here, whether they're no longer here, whether they are thinking about you, whether they're not thinking about you, whether it's a best friend or whether it's an enemy. So let's just take an opportunity right now to breathe consciously for someone else. All right, so we're going to inhale and exhale. All right. It's easy for me to return to the present moment simply by breathing. If I am feeling anxious or worried, I close my eyes and breathe in deeply as I picture myself filling up with white light. Then exhale and envision stress and tension leaving my body. In this moment, I am free to gently stretch and open my eyes, feeling refreshed. All right. So, like, sometimes going through all this change, all this conditioning, all this training, even seeing the change, knowing the change that you have to do, knowing the change that's coming, it can get overwhelming. So, we can just remember to breathe um when it if or when it gets overwhelming, because just knowing that, if you got to change this XYZ the third, it can get overwhelming, like it can get it can get overwhelming, especially if you're doing a lot of the change all at once. It's easy to revert back to your old ways, and instead of reverting back to your old ways, take a breath. Like I said, remember to breathe. Even with that exercise I just did, we breathe unconsciously already. So, like, truth be told, unless you're dead, you don't have to remember to breathe. Like, that's just one thing we don't have to worry about. Like, at the end of the day, that is literally one thing we do not have to worry about. Thank God, thank all the above, thank the universe, thank you. Because imagine going through life and you have to remember to breathe. Like, that will be that is a whole lot, and that's why, like, you enjoy swimming. No, because even when you're swimming, you can get to a routine, not routine, but like a meditation where you breathe automatically. But just like swimming, you have to remember to breathe. Like, we can't breathe underwater. So, like, imagine that's life, where, like, you go through life, but then oh yeah, let me remember to breathe, So, like, at the end of the day, that's the best thing. That's just really great. Like, we don't have to remember to breathe, like, that is huge. Like, light bulb moment. That is very important. Like, that's just something to be grateful for, like, I'm grateful for not having to remember to breathe, because we need to breathe. You got to remember to eat sometimes. You got to remember to exercise. You have to remember to do a whole lot. But the one thing we don't have to remember to do is breathe. Okay. Remember to be grateful. There's a lot to remember. But I was saying, so because we don't have to remember to breathe, when you remember to breathe, it makes that even more significant. So sometimes we don't remember to breathe because we do it naturally. But remembering to breathe can bring you back to a place of to grounding. You know, it's a way to ground you. So when life seems stressful, you can even cry sometimes. You can even, like, if that's what's best for you. But sometimes just a good breath. Just stop and remember to breathe. You know, remember what I'm saying here. With that being said, because I don't think there's a number on this card. No, there's no numbers. I read all the numbers. All right. I think this is going great. I'm happy I can go live now on YouTube. So I will love and leave you here. Okay. I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. And I will talk to you guys another day. Thank you for being here on this bonus live read. All right. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. And yes.